Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better at Aquavita. Visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday. Time for another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. What you know, Fruit Loop?
I don't even know what I know. I was trying to think.
Well, you were in Savannah.
Yeah. We went and vacated for 3 days.
Nice. Was it super hot?
Oh my goodness. It was like 90 degrees.
Yeah. And you know, and then you get that 90% humidity. And
so my friends I went with, they like sitting on the beach. Okay, I'm a ginger. I burn on the beach.
Oh yeah. You get sunburned so bad.
Yeah, so I'm peeling and
oh yeah.
Yeah, my feet, like I try, if I'm sitting on the beach, I try to bury my feet.
Yeah.
So they don't get burnt, because that's like the worst place to get sunburned, top of your feet.
It's terrible.
Yep. So, so they're burnt.
Yep.
I tried, but it didn't work.
Well, we're glad you're back.
Yeah, we had a good time, though. It's a cool area.
Yeah, Savannah's gorgeous. I just like it in the fall.
I'm down. Or a tent on the beach.
Right. It's just a different kind of heat down there. It's hot here. And it's really, really hot this week. But Savannah, it's just something that hangs in the air different there.
Yeah. We walked Friday night downtown, and I was like, I feel like I just stepped out of the shower.
Yeah, no, you do. I mean, and I feel that way going to the mailbox right now. It's just...
Yeah.
So, so the sponsor, Too Cool T-shirt quilts, she surprised my kids yesterday with 3 big pillows. They're the same size as what she surprised us with the week before. So we just want to give a big shout out. She gave my son a very nice Clemson Tiger pillow. My youngest, my girls are doing theater with you.
Yep.
And they love it. And so she gave my youngest a theater nerd pillow with the comedy tragedy faces. And then Taylor, my old soul, who, you know what her room looks like. It looks like a museum.
Yep.
All antiques, nothing current in there. And gave her more of an old school looking quilt. And
it was cool.
It was so cool. So I just want to give a shout out to Andrea at Too Cool T-shirt quilts. And you guys can go to the website, toocooltshirtquilts.com/Pretty Lies and Alibis and check her out.
Yep. Very neat.
Yep.
I'm loving my pillow, by the way.
Oh, it's so comfy. It's like the perfect prop up.
Yeah.
Because it's soft, but you know how sometimes with pillows, like you sink in the middle and it's not, I use it all the time.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So I had the live with Scott Rice while you were gone.
It was really cool. I watched it.
And we missed you.
Yeah.
But we had a great time. I just want to thank Scott for, number 1, inviting us on the show.
Yeah.
And number 2, for making it so easy. I was very nervous. He has a ton of subscribers.
Yeah.
And way more than we do by like 100,000 or more. So he made it very easy. I learned stuff, and it seems like all the listeners really, except for those 7 people who disliked the video on YouTube. I'm not talking about you guys.
Thumbs down.
But there was a resounding, that was good. So we are definitely going to do some more collaborations in the future. And he just makes us look smart.
Yeah.
And another thing, stickers. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you guys, I've not mailed out stickers in the past month. It's just been very busy. It's summer. I'm kind of in the last stages of being a taxi for my 15-year-old who's about to get her restricted, but it's just been a busy month for the both of us away from the podcast. And then with the podcast, it's been busy. So I'm going to get those out by the end of the week. I apologize for the delay. Don't think we've forgotten about you, but there's a big list, and There's only so many hours in a day, y'all.
Yeah.
It's almost like we need to hire an assistant.
I know, right?
Just with everything, comments and all that stuff. But we do like giving you guys stickers because it's the least we can do.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So, Sherlock.
Oh, my gosh.
Sherlock got brass knuckles.
Oh, my gosh. He's like a cage fighter.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know Rommel. Rommel is this little, he's like a white chihuahua.
Who thinks he's like a Saint Bernard.
Yeah. This is the most muscular chihuahua I've ever seen. It's almost like they pump him steroids or like protein milk. He's so muscular, but he's a bully, right? So he's always loose in the neighborhood. And he likes to harass people. So he'll bark at you just from a distance and put on a good show. But the minute that you start walking towards him, like he jets off. Well, normally he would go to the fence and get my dog's attention and he'll hop in the fence and visit with him. Well, he was barking at Sherlock the other day. And I'm in the studio and I heard Sherlock kind of doing his meowing. So I thought, oh, they're just having a little standoff. And then I hear what I thought was like a baby screaming. I go outside. Sherlock has got this dog in like some kind of a wrestler hold and is bunny kicking the dog. And I'm running thinking the cat's gonna like skin this dog. Literally bunny kicking. They can put their claws in and like hurt.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, finally I got Sherlock off the dog, but now it's really funny because when the dog, because I can't keep Sherlock in the house. It don't work.
Sherlock's a neighborhood bully.
Oh my God. Not only that, but he goes to like 3 neighbors' houses now that I know of to eat food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's crazy. But now Rommel will bark, bark, bark. And as soon as he sees Sherlock, takes off running just, like a little wuss. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
Another neighbor came out and was like, I thought it was a kid. I said, no, it's just this dog getting beat up by my cat.
Cat's yelling.
So what we got in the news, just briefly.
So deadline for death is August 8th. Scott, on the live, Scott says he doesn't think it'll happen.
Right. And I really wanted to ask him his opinion. And so I kind of put him on the spot. I didn't tell him I was going to ask him this. He does not think that they're going to go for death. Yeah. And he said as bad as this crime was, it's not like any of them had just years and years and years of evil deeds and all that. I don't really, I know the family wants death. I'm happy with life. They're not going to get out. They're going to be in jail or prison the rest of their life. Death has its benefits of satisfaction, but I think the years of appeals and the years that family's going to have to come back to Rexburg and sit in that courtroom with them. Yeah. I'll be okay if they do. I'll be okay if they don't.
Yep. It's tough either way.
It really is.
Honestly, I'd rather somebody sit and have to think every day.
Right.
Of what they did and what they're missing and their punishment. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I do. That's a good point. The thing, too, to remember is what we're seeing increasingly, unless you live in like Texas, is states just aren't executing these days as much. So you have the label of condemned to death, but it really just, for the most part, it equals a life sentence.
Yeah.
So without the hassle. So I if they go for life, there's no hassle.
Yep.
There's hassle, but you know what I mean? Just not these repeated appeals and trying to get the conviction tossed and all that. So we'll see. It's going to be next, the 8th is like a week and a half or something.
Yeah. Look at how far, and this just popped in my head. Look how far the justice system has come. I mean, way back when they did like courthouse, they'd kill you on the courthouse steps.
Yeah. No. And
like right then, like you have your trial and then boom.
I know, right?
Like, yeah.
It's funny because my daughter, she texted a meme not too long ago. This is kind of not related, but it said, we are the granddaughters of the witches that didn't burn. But you think about it, innocent people throughout decades have been put to death.
Yeah.
And I always refer to the case here in South Carolina, that Murder, Etc. podcast from Brad Willis. This is so amazing, about a good old boy system where they essentially framed a man and he was condemned to death row for 30 years before it really kind of became clear this was an inside job.
How, I don't know mentally how you would survive if you knew 100% you didn't do something.
I would be screaming from my cell all day, every day.
I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be in the padded room.
But I guess maybe 30 years of isolation and away from everything, it's amazing what your mind can resolve to, I guess, even if you didn't do anything. It's just, I don't know. Thank goodness this podcast came along and really exposed what was happening. He's out now. And they're trying to get all of this expunged. But That's going to be a bigger fight.
Oh, yeah.
So, and speaking of Lori and Chad being in prison for life, the girl that I contact that's in prison for life, she emailed me about this prison fight that happened in her cell.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And so if you guys think that prison is going to be cushy, and I've seen comments where people are like, they get 3 hots and a cot, they're going to be fine being in the pokey for the rest of their life. Okay, just for example, number 1, she is in prison with some very high profile killers, all of which are women. And I told you Gabriel Hernandez's mother is in there with her. They don't put them in protective custody for the rest of their life. They integrate into the prison yards and with the other prisoners. So I don't think that we have to worry that Lori and Chad are going to be in the 5-star cell. They're going to be out in public. You can't, separate everybody.
Yeah.
But in her cell, there was a fight the other day where one inmate bit part of the ear off of another inmate and literally in the same second went and spit it out and flushed it.
Oh my goodness, Mike Tyson all over again.
I know, right? That's what I thought of.
Yeah.
So it's not like if they get life in prison that they're just going to be propped up and fanned and fed grapes. It's a very big reality that it's not they're going to have to keep their eyes open all the time because of the nature of their crimes, number 1.
Dude, that's just gross.
They're a target. I was told Gabriel Hernandez's mother attacked a prison guard just to be put in segregation because of the threat she was receiving.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be any kind of a future for either one of them. And I think we can all take comfort in knowing that Lori won't wiggle out of this one and they're going to pay.
Yeah.
So it's just a
That's
matter
just
of
gross.
kind of when.
Ear.
Yeah,
That's
very.
gross.
Yeah.
So Pryor has filed for the transcript for the grand jury and has filed a motion for a change of venue.
Yeah, kind of we're back to the change of venue. But I'm sure he wants to find out what evidence was presented by the state to get these murder charges. So things are moving. Scott said on the live, I asked him, do you think this will go on for years and years and years? And he had a very interesting point, which is go to court in November. The prosecution has mounds of evidence to weed through. They have to make sense of all this. All Pryor has to do is prove that there's a reasonable doubt. Good luck with that. But his whole point was the sooner the better.
Oh, yeah.
Don't give the prosecutors time to get this down to a science for a jury, even though juries aren't stupid.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking of juries, I saw an article about they're toying around with the idea of doing virtual reality headsets to allow jurors to go onto crime scenes.
Dude, I'd throw up.
I don't think this is going to be a good thing.
I would be the first one in the box.
Well, I know in court, when you're on a jury, sometimes you see autopsy pictures. I remember in the Jodi Arias case, they put the picture of Travis Alexander up on the screen where his throat was slit. Very graphic. Juries have to see stuff. I think there's something about virtual reality, though. We could be scarring a bunch of ordinary citizens who obviously didn't go into these type of fields because they don't want to see this stuff.
I'm not laughing at that. It just hit my mind. You see 12 people sitting there with that virtual reality on, and they're going to be moving and turning.
Oh, that right. Yeah. And everybody all at once go, whoa.
Yeah.
I just think this is a terrible idea, y'all.
Yeah.
So what about Summer Wells? What's going on there?
So kids removed from the home and parents have lawyered up.
Kind of makes me wonder if something is coming up.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on this case. I really can't. I watched the interview with her mom that her and Don did outside the house, and do I think they know something? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't see that. I think they're just, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. They seem like really uneducated, kind of just backwoods Appalachia. The house is filth. I wouldn't let my dogs live in there, but we see that a lot around here just because we're kind of part of Appalachia. Are we part of Appalachia?
I don't think so.
Well, we're close.
We're close, but we're more toward the city.
There's just a different breed of people, and they're good people. But I just don't get murderer. When I look at the mom, I could be wrong. Wouldn't be surprised. But to take the kids out of the house and the parents lawyering up, I think something's going on.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a bunch of days now. It's been, over a month? This kid's just gone.
Yep.
Don't know. Can't put my finger on it. Don't even want to try. But Don, who is Summer's father, he told Jay for Justice right now with everybody attacking us and all the stuff going on, it's probably better for them. And it has gotten nasty. Now, they haven't helped because Don especially has been very active on social media, talking about the case and that sort of stuff. So you sort of invite comments when you do that. But so we shall see. He told Jay for Justice regarding the boys being taken, he had an episode where he began drinking again. And also there were other things on the internet that it could be the home life. People see pictures of this house and then call DSS and say the house is in disarray, as if the cops and investigators don't already know that. But we shall see. So with this episode, what we're going to plan to do in the future when we, and I think in the next few weeks when the kids get back in school, we're going to have the days a little more available to us, uninterrupted.
Yep.
So we're going to try to really keep these episodes separate. So those of you who are only interested in Vallow, we have Vallow episodes. Murdoch, only Murdoch. But for today, for the sake of time, we're going to have to combine. So we're
For the sake of time.
Yeah, for the sake of everybody got somewhere to be. So we're going to start with the Vallow document dump. Not a ton of stuff. I'm still going through. It's very tedious. So let's get started with that one.
Which the Vallow document dump?
Yep.
So got it.
You got it. You there? All right.
Yeah. It's under Vallow docs, right?
You got it. It's
Look at
highlighting
that.
yellow.
You see that education coming to play right there.
Oh yeah.
So it was said by a family member that there were lots of pictures of the Cox family at Charles and Lori's and none of Charles in them. That's weird.
That is very weird. It just shows that maybe to them he was kind of the invisible man that provided this really nice life for Lori and JJ and Tylee, and
I saw somebody say, well, maybe he took all the photos. Well, I'm a photographer. I take a bunch of photos, but I'm in some in my house.
Exactly. But it would just seem to be all across their social media that nothing. That's just kind of sad, but it's poetic in a sense that it makes sense now. I don't think they ever saw Charles as anything more than a bank.
No, dude, I would have hung out with him.
Oh, me too. I know. We could talk some baseball. And,
yeah,
he just seems like such a that letter, and I talked about it on Scott's show, where he's talking about all the normal stuff that him and JJ did while Lori was gone. He took his bath. He got a big boy haircut. It's as cute as he is.
He called it a tubby. I thought that was cool.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
And it took me a minute. I'm like, what's a tubby?
Yeah, talking about the
bathtub. But yeah, it's really sad to read that email because, and like I said, I think it's the most normal things were for that child from the time he was with them.
Yeah.
Was when she was gone.
Yeah.
But one good point that a listener made to me is when she came back for that brief time and they reconciled, we kind of wonder if it's because he wouldn't push through that divorce, which would have put in jeopardy that life insurance policy.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Because it was all withdrawn. So I think at the time he was murdered, there was nothing in the courts for separation.
Yeah.
It had been taken out,
Yeah.
which premeditation. Hello.
Exactly. I mean, Melanie Pulowski did the same thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, that seems like an MO for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So they had an email from Charles's ex-wife. She was upset that they had released information about his murder before contacting them.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. I mean, and we know that Kay has said that there are times where they learn stuff with us.
Yeah.
The same time we learn it.
Well, it was on that video, that one of the things they were on, one of the documentaries they were on.
The investigation
They were
discovery.
in the hotel room, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they were like, what?
Yeah, they're looking for the kids. And then you have that just primal scream from Kay when they call and tell her it's the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't imagine being in their shoes. We've never lost somebody like this, but it seems like common courtesy that investigators would talk to the family before they see it on the news themselves or get a text message from a friend or an acquaintance of, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Or it's got to be hard.
I understand protecting evidence, and you don't want something to be leaked out before you want to share it. But it does seem like maybe they could say, hey, this is about to hit.
Yeah. I mean, just to give, and you have to think Charles has sons.
Yeah.
And he has 2 boys. He had 3 with JJ, but these are young men and they are as affected by all this as anybody. And it just has to be hard. It has to be surreal. I can't imagine turning on the news and seeing a news thing about my dad if this had happened to him and not be prepared privately for that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So what about this? In the document dump, they went back and got Lori's iCloud contents from the creation of that account.
Yeah.
Up
I don't
until
know why you think you're gonna hide anything.
No. Deleted text.
It's
They're
in the
there.
cloud.
They are there.
Yeah.
I always say, if something happens to me, and we said this way in the past, if something happens to me and they check my Google account, like, they are going to think I'm a psychopath.
Yeah.
That is, I can't imagine.
Yeah. I was Googling something the other day and then something came up and I'm like, I really like what the world? What is that search?
Yeah. Fruit Loop, if something ever happens to me, please explain to them why I Googled certain stuff.
I'm not on be like, I don't know what she was
a
doing.
freak.
She's crazy. Yeah.
We're better off without her.
Yeah, she's crazy.
So in a text to JJ's babysitter in Rexburg, this was on September 24th. So this is the day we believe that JJ was buried at Chad's property. At 12:23 p.m., which would have been just a couple of hours after he was buried, for scale, Lori texts the babysitter and says, I hope the wedding was good. So JJ's grandparents came this weekend and they took him for a few weeks to give me a break. So we won't be back until probably the end of October. I wish I had other work for you to do. You're such a darling girl. I understand if you need to get another job.
Does not sound like a crazy person to me.
Yeah. I mean, because at this point, she knows what's up.
Straight up knows what's up.
Yeah. I think these attorneys are going to have a very, very hard time saying that this was not meticulously planned. As meticulous as you could with a bunch of 40-something-year-olds who are not technologically inclined as good as the younger generation.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're lying that Kay and Larry didn't come get him. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not surprising with what we know about her. It's just when you read this stuff and then you correlate the date and even the time, a couple of hours after that kid has been buried. And she's just, you're a darling girl. Wish I had more work for you. I'm sorry that I killed my son so you can't babysit for him.
That's why you're not going to, exactly.
I mean, you read stuff like that and then you want him to fry.
Psychopath.
Poor buddy. Oh my gosh. I've thought about Tylee so much lately too. And just, you think about, from the time she was so little, she was so in the middle of her mom's drama that Lori created.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like the drama found them. She created it.
Yep.
And it just breaks my heart that she was never able to get away from that. I think she would have been fierce as a woman.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
And I think she would have done her own thing, getting away from her mom and dealing with her childhood, because clearly, there's a lot there she would have had to have unpacked. They just took so much.
Yeah.
When they took these kids.
Yeah. Well, you put kids through that stuff, it's going to affect them.
It's long term. These things there's so many studies out there. Every study, trauma in childhood, manipulative parents, alienation of affection from another parent, they're all so detrimental.
Yeah.
And it really, the hard thing is when these kind of kids become adults and they've been in the middle of this, you find a lot of them really have problems in relationships. Yeah. They don't trust.
Well, it doesn't hurt the adult. It hurts the kid.
Exactly. The adult gets some weird, temporary satisfaction for whatever goal they were trying to accomplish in doing it, but just no regard for the health, the emotional health of Tylee. And it's just so sad.
Yeah. So Aval post.
Oh boy.
You remember we all tried to get in that and they're like,
oh my gosh,
no, we ain't paying for that.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Because we were going to sign up and then it was a pay service. And I was like, I don't want my
paying to read it. No. Yeah.
You don't want money going to Christopher Parrott.
Exactly.
Who I think he ran the website, right? That was his deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Aval post. Think about Chad's character. Which scenario is more like him? That he is an adulterer, kidnapper.
Check.
And murderer.
Check.
Or that he is on an errand from God and trying to protect his new wife and kids.
Oh, yeah.
Baloney.
So I have read through all the Aval documents that were in this dump. There was a healthy mix in the beginning of, this sounds fishy, to, no way, Chad's a great guy. then towards the end, you saw a lot more people sort of skeptical, especially once it hit mainstream news.
Yeah.
But it's not funny. It's interesting to go back and read. And at one point, they're fighting with each other. And I tweeted this. It was oddly satisfying. They were like eating each other alive. Loved it.
Oh, yeah.
So another one says that Tammy being exhumed, it may have come from within Chad's family. This poster said that there was a pro-Chad side and an anti-Chad side within the family of the kids and I guess in-laws and that sort of thing, which goes to show you they didn't know because the FBI really kind of put all these and the investigators put all these pieces together and said, whoa, this ain't adding up. And I don't think a 49-year-old died of heart failure who was training for a marathon.
Exactly. So in an email, it says Alex and Lori had a really weird relationship. Mm-hmm. We've said that from the get-go. Around the day JJ disappeared, he was coat shopping for her.
Yeah.
I can honestly tell you, my brother has never bought one piece of clothing for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust my brother to buy me a coat. I love him.
No.
He's not, I'm not even like a fashionista, but, he'd probably come back with like a NASCAR coat.
Yeah.
It's just, he's a dude.
You get the Eminem NASCAR coat.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I see all the time.
Right. Well, JJ had that on in that picture with Larry.
Yep.
It was so cute. But I mean, it's not a surprise they had a very strange relationship at all.
Yeah.
So I thought this was interesting. So on December 5th of 2019, this is a week before Alex dies. I say commit suicide because this was not a coinky dink.
They didn't kill him. They poisoned his pistachios.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We said that before. They sent him some laced pistachios from Hawaii.
Something from Hawaii.
Yeah. So they issued a search warrant for Google for the account information. Chandler PD did. And it was what it said on there is they were trying to get person or persons charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degrry murder. They told Google not to notify the owner of the accounts because it would be a flight risk. So you got to understand, Alex, this happens on December 5th. December 12th, Alex is dead. This, I believe, was for Alex. They were going to charge him with first-degree murder for Charles, but he dies a week later. And Tammy's exhumed. So the walls were crumbling down.
Oh, yeah. So does this mean, like, when you get an alert, somebody's trying to access your account? Is that what it's saying? That they told Google not to do that?
I maybe. I don't know. I mean, because the search warrant, I don't know how it goes. I mean, it seems like they would just pull that off of a server, but for whatever reason or how he could have found out, I don't know. Yeah, but they didn't want him to know because they thought it would be a risk of fleeing.
Wonder if he had two-step notification.
Could be. I have it on all mine.
Yeah.
So if somebody even tries to log in, I get an alert to allow it. When you're trying to get on the email,
oh my goodness,
you have to text or call me and say, "Can you tell me
you approve?
It's okay. It's
or
just
give
me
the code."
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. So it sounds like he just barely missed. If they'd have got him a week earlier, I'm convinced he wouldn't be dead right now.
Oh yeah,
he would be alive and well.
He wouldn't have got them pistachios.
So there was a post on AVAL where someone said they were creeped out that Chad was on the forum the day Tammy died. He was on there consistently throughout that day, it sounds.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird. You think if your wife dies suddenly at 49, you've got a bunch of kids, you've got grandkids, that you would spend your day doing something other than acknowledging people's posts about your wife's death? But
exactly.
Then again, we're not crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
This was on AVAL as well.
There was a post on AVAL where someone said they were creeped out that Chad was. Oh wait, you already did that one.
Sorry.
Someone said that exhuming Tammy was just investigative work, and they bet there will be no foul play found.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know I'm still suffering from that chest cold, whatever your kids gave us?
Oh, you blaming us, are ya?
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, they gave it to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, even my grandma has a little head cold, so I went to the store yesterday and got her loaded up on stuff.
Dude, I'm on Mucinex.
I know, and now I'm like, is it the new COVID? I don't know, but
that's what I said.
Yeah,
But I can still taste and smell. So
Well, that's good. Yeah, I can definitely smell. I had to go in my teenage son's room last night to get dirty clothes, and I was like, "What is
it's
this
gym
smell?"
socks. It's like,
What
it
is-
smells like gym socks.
And he showers all the time. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's
dude.
clean.
Yeah, he's a very clean boy.
It's guys. It's like locker rooms at school.
Oh,
They smell.
you remember how that locker room used to smell like football season? It got real thick in there, and then
my
it just
goodness.
lingered all year.
Because they didn't wash their clothes all.
Mm-mm. Ugh, no, they didn't wash their clothes like for a year, and you know how much they sweated.
Oh, it's nasty.
It's in the South.
Yeah.
Um,
We're glad y'all got to hear that little.
sorry, y'all.
tidbit of
We go
information.
off in left field.
Y'all all
sometimes.
know y'all had a football locker room in your high school. when you were
Oh
in high
yeah,
school.
it stunk.
Yeah.
So, on the day that Alex tased Joe, I didn't know this. When Joe was leaving his house to go to the kid exchange to have his visitation with Tylee, Alex was sitting on his street watching him as he left.
Creeper.
Yeah. So it freaked Joe out enough to where he contacted a neighbor and told them to watch his house.
Yeah.
Um,
He was afraid of them, but so was everybody else.
everybody else was too. Look at Brandon.
Yeah.
He split with his 4 kids.
Yeah. Brandon, Adam, and them were afraid.
That
Like,
speaks volumes.
everybody.
Yeah. So anyways, do you remember in the early days of this when it came out that Yellowstone was of interest in this case? And you and I went online and found live streams from Yellowstone and went back to the day that they were supposedly there.
Yep.
What did we see?
We saw a kid running around, and we thought, I wonder if that's JJ.
Well, remember he had this green shirt on.
Yep.
And the kid in the video had a green shirt on, I think maybe a black jacket.
Yeah.
And he was running back and forth. Well,
Yep.
in the documents, the FBI says there's footage of JJ at Yellowstone Park walking and running along the walkway in front of Old Faithful Geyser.
Yep.
Dude, we need to be hired as investigators.
We do.
We
sat
saw-
and watched a ton of that footage
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
figure it out.
For the whole day. And remember, we also saw that picture of the truck pulled over somewhere and there was a car behind it. And we
Yep.
were thinking, is that Chad there in Yellowstone? Still, I don't think that was ever debunked. I'm curious to see if
Yep.
if we were right on that. But a year later, I'm like, whoa, we were right. That was him. So,
In October, right?
yep.
2019, Chandler PD already had Lori's phone records and noticed loan calls from out of state to a number assumed to belong to Chad Daybell.
Right. So this is the same month that Tammy dies, and they're just starting to put it together. We know that investigators believe that when she left right before Tammy Daybell died, like Kay said, they always seem to be very far apart. And like with when Charles was murdered, when Tammy died or was murdered, I hate to say died. They died physically, but they were murdered.
Yeah.
They believe that Lori was with Melanie Pulowski on the 9th, which is the day Tammy died. And, or no, the 9th is when Alex shot at her. I'm
Yep.
sorry. She didn't die till 10 days later.
Yep. 19th. Yep.
But, so yeah, it's just interesting again when something was about to happen, because I'm sure in Lori's mind, he was going to be successful and that would be the night she was murdered.
Yeah.
She's far away, and that's just trying to escape any kind of association, which, I mean, I'm sure Rob Wood's going to hammer all the stuff home.
Oh, yeah.
Premeditation, putting yourself out of the situation before it happens.
Yep.
So this is kind of redacted right here, but this is Zulema, this redacted. So it says the first evidence to cause harm to Charles Vallow was discovered in a text messages between Zulema and Lori Vallow on November the 3rd, 2018.
Wow.
I don't know if that's, I don't know how far back this goes, but it goes to show you that in November, isn't that around the time they said Chad and Lori first met?
Yeah. I still call bull on
Oh,
that.
yeah. Well, you remember like a year or so ago, there was that whole thing. And I actually saw it on the AVOW, a post that was copied from Facebook where somebody said they knew each other for several years, or they were acquaintances years before all this stuff happened. Still don't know. But so it says here, this is a friend of Lori's and the widow of Alex. Her phone, Zulema's phone, was seized and data extracted by Gilbert PD after the death of her husband, Alex Cox.
Wow. I think it's funny they redact that.
Yeah, well, it could just be. Yeah, I mean, it's Captain
Didn't you
Obvious.
say after the death of her husband, Alex Cox?
Right, yeah.
Wonder who that is.
I don't know. There were some things in here that weren't redacted that should have been. Phone numbers of people associated with the case and all that. But I mean, good grief. If you look through these documents, you would need a team of people redacting before this ever went public with freedom of information. Bound to have mistakes, but yeah. Redacting that and not like Charles Vallow's phone number or Tylee's phone number or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. So, looking into Lori Vallow's web history using redacted, I saw that a web search was conducted on June 21st, 2019 for Social Security disability. Utilizing the URL attached to this web search, it took me to a Social Security disability application. The form allowed you to enter the applicant's information to be able to obtain a free benefits evaluation. This search is of importance as it would indicate an inquiry as to the benefits that Lori would be entitled to. In a text message that Lori sent to Chad Daybell on July 18th, 2019, 1 week after Charles was murdered, she indicated the following.
And I did not attach that, but I can tell you she was giving Chad a number of, I believe it was at like 4,000 or more that she would get just for JJ with Charles's being dead.
Yeah.
So again, she's starting to, spend her money before it's even in the bank. But at that point, you have to understand she understood that the life insurance policy had went to Kay, and the text was like, at least I still get this amount for JJ. So it's a money thing. It's and we know that when she was arrested in Hawaii, she had Tylee's bank card, which was being used, which would have been probably Tylee's survivor benefits from Joe Ryan.
Yeah.
Because on top of the life insurance policy that we now know she got, Tylee, being a minor, would get her dad's until she's 18.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. I think for this episode, Fruit Loop, we're just going to do Vallow. We can do this Murdoch updates later. It's nothing, because we're starting to get lengthy here.
We're lengthy. We didn't talk too much.
I know, we haven't been, it's been over a week since we did one. So we're just like happy to be back in our seats.
Exactly. Yep.
So in this next one, one of the investigators was reviewing a call frequency report for a it's nap time today, y'all. After Fruit Loop leaves, I'm out. Don't expect no posts on social media. I'm gonna be snoozing.
You're on your own.
This was for a prepaid phone with a phone number, and they've redacted that they attribute to, and it's redacted, but it's Chad Daybell. The number was only used to contact a few people, including Lori, Alex, and Melanie. Then this investigator found a strange 7-minute, 14-second phone call from that number to, the name is redacted, get this, associated with the Valley of the Sun mortuary on July 12th. What happened the day before? Charles is murdered.
Yep.
Attached is the obituary for Charles they found based on the timing, length of the call, and it's redacted, but doesn't take a rocket scientist. Chad Daybell as a cemetery sexton. Chad may have called the mortuary to discuss funeral arrangements for Charles. We thought the mortuary may have had documented this call in their records. They wanted this person to contact to see what that conversation was. Why was he calling the mortuary the day after he's murdered?
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm a sexton. Let me tell you how to handle the body.
Exactly. Like, they shouldn't even speak with him about anything.
He's not family.
No.
But then again, you know what though? We don't know who he presented himself as.
True.
It said
he was a sexton.
But then again, that the investigators knew that. This was from somebody in the FBI.
Yeah.
But then again, we've always had a theory that Alex imitated JJ's voice when he was talking to Lori's mom, if in fact she thought she heard JJ. I don't believe anything they say.
Yeah. No.
And then we got to find out who called and changed the PIN number. Did Alex try to mimic Charles's voice to say, hey, I need to change the PIN on this account?
Yeah.
Lots to come. So look, I want you to do this update from Ian.
Yep. So Ian and I spoke this evening, and he said Chad and Lori called Melanie last night. Chad and Lori said Rexburg PD has contacted 2 of Chad's children and threatened them that they were going to exhume Tammy's body. Chad and Lori think it is a lie and that they're really going to exhume the body.
Yeah.
Chad and Lori don't seem to know that the
That they exhumed her.
dude, what? That's a weird word.
See, this is where the South comes in.
Exactly.
Like,
exhumation.
Like we can't, we say it as we see it, but like my brain
I can say exhume.
Yeah. Exhumation.
Exhumation. Sorry, guys. Really took place, or at least they are not saying it to Ian.
Yeah. So they first of all, they think it's a threat because how dare you exhume her? And then they didn't know it had already happened and she was already back in the grave.
Yeah.
And this investigator didn't tell Ian that it had already happened either. So they think it's all threats.
It was not a threat.
So what did Chad and Lori feel?
So they feel they're being bullied by Rexburg PD and plan to get a lawyer to represent the family, including Chad's kids. His kids will then just refer future law enforcement contact to the lawyer. Chad and Lori have heard a rumor that the FBI is involved, but again think it is a scare tactic from the police and don't think the FBI is really involved. This is the dumbest.
Oh, I know.
Like, that's crazy.
Denial. It's just not a river.
I mean, you killed somebody.
Yeah.
If I committed a crime and know the FBI is involved or at least rumored, I'd be like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I know,
they
right?
know I'm going to the pokey.
Right, exactly. But I think that also goes to show you how they thought they would never get caught because they're so smart.
Yeah.
God forbid the FBI be smarter than, these two yahoos.
Exactly.
So it says that Chad and Lori still are not saying where they are, but investigators at this point thought that when things calm down, they might try to move back and stay with Melanie and Ian. But as we know, that didn't happen. So that's kind of the bulk of where I'm at now. Still have a lot to go. I think these documents will produce several more podcasts just about them. And I think maybe we just leave this where it is and not pull in the Murdaugh case. We can do another one later in the week.
Yep.
But it goes to show you, like we said, it's nothing explosive that we learned. But that was very interesting about them just thinking this was all fluff and we're fine. And every time I think about those pictures on the beach, and we've all seen them, they're disgusting with the ukulele and the white pure outfits and all that. Did they ever really not think that Larry and Kay and Colby are never going to want to see Tyler or JJ again?
Yeah.
At what point did they really just think these kids could disappear? But I think that goes to show you their superiority complex of we're chosen, we can do what we want, and the world's going to be okay with it. Yeah. Whack a doodle. Crazy people. Crazy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all for today. I'm going to keep pouring through these documents, not this afternoon because I'm going night-night. But I think, we got some stuff coming up. We'll see about death and Lori's still, as far as we know, in the mental hospital. It was up to 90 days. So I don't know that she actually had to stay 90 days, but Mark means to still go into the jail. I don't get it. Yeah. And, so that's kind of where we are. We'll update you guys later in the week on the Murdaugh stuff. I'm still sort of putting it together. There's a lot of insight into what happened the night in the hospital just after the boat crash, and Mallory's still missing, and how Alex and the grandpa came in and really were just trying to get everybody on the same page, going room to room. And one thing that was funny, though, is his Paul Murdaugh was sloppy drunk. So his grandpa said that he was as drunk as Cooter Brown. Have you ever heard that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so...
Drunk as a cooter.
Drunk as a cooter. All right, so that's a very Southern thing. And the story behind that, and this just cracks me up. I remember my pop saying it. Cooter Brown. Drunk as Cooter Brown. He lived on the line dividing the North and the South during the Civil War. And he had relatives on both sides of the line. And so in order to not be drafted by either side, he just stayed fall down drunk the whole time. So in the South, a lot of older people say, he's as drunk as a cooter.
Drunk as a cooter.
There you go. All right, guys, we'll see you later in the week. We'll hopefully talk to you guys online and just keep commenting. And if there's any cases that you guys are following that you're interested in, let us know. But right now, we're kind of covered up. So we will... I'm going to file some Freedom of Information requests about the Ariel Robinson case as well to see if I can get some police reports and autopsy reports for Victoria Rose. Yeah. Don't know how that'll go.
Yep.
But anyways, guys, have a good day. We will see you later in the week.
See you.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.